Yes guys, nice fresh video. We've got a cool camper van in the shop today. We got service, check the brakes. So we're going to go over a few things. If you've got one of these and you fancy doing it yourself, probably take it to a specialist. If not and you fancy it, we're going to go through timing, oil change, the tappets, fan belt, spark plugs, brakes. We're going to take it all apart, make sure everything's okay. It's just a service, there's nothing wrong with it. We're just going to get it ready for the lady for summer. So yeah, let's crack on. Oh, and I'm also just going to turn it around on the ramp. I just wanted to get a cool shot because it's on the ramp. So engine's at the back obviously, so I'll get it out, get it back in, we'll get it up on the ramp and we'll kick ass. So we're going to get it on the ramp first. A nice place to start is the back end, then you can get the front end ones. If you haven't got a ramp, it's cool, you can always jack it up, always use axle stands. Otherwise, you might have a little bit of an accident and nobody wants that. So we'll start by putting it on the ramp, put it on the chassis there, on the back there, underneath the spring plate cover, and we'll send it up. Volkswagens are taking over today. Still got this one in. I got some heads coming for that one soon because the engine still is over here. That's quite apart, but that's coming soon. So chuck us a nice little subscribe and you'll see that coming. So this is a 1974-75 camper, 1600 twin port. We're just going to dive in here and have a look what we're doing. I'm going to do the spark plugs. I'm going to check the timing. This has got electronic ignition, so we won't be pulling this out because this is all nice and new. We won't be pulling the distributor out, but we will check the timing on here. I'll show you how to do that. This belt looks a bit floppy, and everything else looks pretty good. We're going to also take off the wheels and the drums just to check them. She did say that when it was in storage, the back brake seized up a little bit, so I think they just got a bit rusty. We'll pull these off, check the pads and discs, both sides. We're also going to dive underneath. We're going to do all our little grease nipples. There's grease nipples in here, behind here, so we'll make sure they're all greased up nicely. We'll also check the gearbox oil. We'll drop the oil underneath. We'll probably do the rocker covers, check the tappets, and take the oil out there as well. But yeah, pretty good camper this. Let's crack on and see what happens. Alrighty then fellas, we're going to come underneath first of all, and we're just going to have a nice check around. You can see where I've just greased a few brake pipes. These look okay, there's no leaks, no cracking. They'll probably need doing pretty soon, so I've greased them up. That'll give us a little heads up next year, and hopefully they'll come out. Coming forward, chassis looks great. We're going to start off with the front axle, I think. We'll start off by giving this a nice little grease, you know, the grease points. I've done this one already over here, but we're going to do 1, 2, 3 and 4 nipples under there. Get one of these if you can. If you've got one of these, grab a nice grease gun because they're only cheap. I think it was only 15-20 quid this thing, plus your grease cartridges as well. It's a very essential part of a service really, because you need to be able to pump some nice greasy grease into your axle so that it works nice and freely. Now you pump this until you can just about hear it. You can just about see a little squidge coming out of the end. That means you're done. I'm going to try and get up into that one. Give that a few pumpy pumps. I've just run out of grease. Mint. Right, I've got a nice fresh grease cartridge now. So you've got to pull that out. Pull that off, and there's your emptiness. So I'll swap this out. It's turned into a nice little grease cartridge lesson, this, isn't it? First of all, you need to pull out your grenade pin. Expose your nice greasy grease. It's a bit of a messy job this, you're going to have to clean up afterwards. And you've got to take that cap off as well. Like that. So they're both open-ended. The end with the cap, that's the one that you enter into this hole. If I could get the old one out, that'd be great. There we go. So that's that one out. And cue the Kenneth Williams picture. We're going to insert this greasy pole into this nice hole. So then after that, we can insert our greasy pole back into that and give it a good old screw. Ta-da. Finish off by slopping this pole back in as well. That's got the spring on the end of it, and that's what gives you your pumpy. Too many innuendos. I wonder if there's enough pictures of Kenneth Williams to actually keep on top of all these bloody innuendos. Right, I'll finish off all the grease nipples. You saw the first one, so I don't need to go ahead of that. Then after that, we're going to whip off the wheels, check all the brakes, and then we'll move on to the engine. Okay, we'll grab our pry bar, be nice and gentle on these nice wheels, and just pop that off like that. And then there'll just be 19s. Have a nice look at the little brakes. Right, looks like we've got a new caliper on this side, so we're not too worried about that. We've got new track rods, calipers, pads. Yep, looks bloody wonderful to me. Don't think we need to do much on this side at all. I'll whip the other side off. Same again, and then we'll check the back ones. Same again on the back. Now, in the back, normally these have a little 11mm bolts in them, but this one doesn't, and we can pull these off lovely. The lady did say that when she was parked up over winter, the rear brakes stuck on, but I think that's because it got moisture inside. And they do look a bit rusty, so we'll give them a nice clean up and a nice scratch on here, and then we'll show you how to adjust them up. Easy peasy. Now, if I remember rightly, I put 2 new wheel cylinders on the back of this last year, so absolutely no worries about them bad boys. If you're doing yours, you can peel back the little rubber if there's any liquid they need changing, but as expected, these ones look just fine. No liquid, no brake fluid. Just give them a nice little dust off. Grab some sandpaper, give them a little clean up. Nothing too special, just get rid of that corrosion that we're talking about. Another little bit of a dust off. Oh, and while you're in here, before you try and adjust them later, do yourself a favour. Give them a little spritz. Just on there, not too much, so it drips everywhere, or just enough, just to lubricate the adjusters slightly. And it'll allow you to adjust them from the back through these little holes, show you in a minute. I'll give our drum a nice little clean up inside as well. There are a couple of ridges, but I'm not too worried about them. This is what I mean about just cleaning up the inside. Some nice rough sandpaper, probably 120s, 80s, something like that. Give it a nice scooch around, get rid of any corrosion, and just blow out the dust afterwards, and it's good to fit back on. Nice. Okay, so these are the 2 little access holes you get to your adjusters, and there is actually a special Volkswagen tool, a cool bent one that you can get, but a small flat screwdriver will do, that'll be fine. So really it should have those bolts in the front to centre it, but we'll give these just a little nip, and you can just about feel it bind up once you've got it there. So that's binding up now. One more. So that's binding up now, and then you come off 1, 2 turns, make sure it's all good, and again same on the other side, nip her up until we're locked up, and then come off 1, 2 turns, and that's it. Your brakes are adjusted up. So as usual, I'll do the same for the other side. It's exactly the same thing. Then we get onto the engine. Okay, we're getting to the good part now. These are our engine service bits. Normally you'd have points and condensers as well, but this has got electronic ignition, but I'll show you the timing. So we've obviously got our sump plate gaskets, We'll show you how they go on later, because you've got to take the sump plate off to drain the oil, and then you've got to pull out the oil strainer, clean that out, blah, blah, blah. We've got our two nice new little rocker cover gaskets as well, so when we've done the tappets, we can clean them up and get them in. Then we've also got the short reach spark plugs. Now these are W8AC, so these are the short reach on the 1600s, 1300s, 1200s, I think. If you've got a camper that has 17, 18, 2 litre, they are slightly longer. I think, what are they, WR7, something or other, I don't know, can't remember. And the most important bit, 1540s mineral. Lots of people like to put SE30s, I think, in it, or 2050s, something like that. I've always put 1540s in. We used to put them in race engines, turbo engines. 1540s is the one for these, in my opinion. Let's crack on. Oh, quick prize. We usually got our Forges branded bay mats in here, lots of them. If you can tell me what carburetor that is, how big that is, and what carburetor it's off, have a nice little guess in the comments. Right then, we're up and under. We'll start by draining the oil. Sometimes you have a 21mm sump plug here, which is a lot easier to drain from. It's a lot less messy as well. But we'll crack these bad boys off. It should be just 6 little 10mm nuts with copper washers. And we'll start to try and not make a mess. Don't lose these nuts. There should be little capped ones. Capped ones like that. Quite a few just have normal nuts on, but they tend to leak. So we'll keep hold of them. We'll get these little copper washers off as well, so they don't snag on the way out. And hopefully this thing comes off without making too much of a mess. I have put some protection on the floor. Oh, it's starting to drip. I'll take this one off over here so it goes off into the back. Doesn't matter if you bought a new gasket kit, normally they come with new washers anyway, and sometimes studs do come out as well, so watch out for that. But the washers can go back in where the oil is and never to be seen again. Oh, you can see how messy this is now. As I take the last one off, that's where she starts gushing. Oh baby, looks nice and clean as well. There's nothing major going on in there, I don't think. Looks well. So we'll let that drain. We'll pull out the strainer and give that a clean out as well. And we'll get it all back together. Last one, sump plate off. Just leave that there to drip. Right, like I said, this is a bit messy. You can do it on your drive without a ramp. But next thing is pull this bad boy out, because this is actually your oil filter. They don't have oil filters as such, but they do have a strainer, which is lovely. A little bit of crap in it there, look. That's why we clean him out. Don't know what that is. Gross. Anyway, not to worry. That's what the strainer's there for. And we'll pull off our nice gasket as well. Oh, it is nicely clean, this. This will do just fine. In the bin. Okay, parts washer time. Get rid of the other gasket as well. There's another one in there as well from last time. And we'll give these a nice little swizz off in the cleaner. Give it a nice little brush. Get it nice and clean. So give these a nice swizz. Brake cleaner, floor cleaner, hand cleaner. If you watch all the other videos, you know by now that brake cleaner is the best stuff ever invented. And there's one sump plate, nice and clean. Oh, I've had plenty of comments recently on other videos of people's memories. Seems to be a big thing. It's pretty cool. The fact that I can bring these old cars and fix them up for you guys. And people always chuck in the comments, especially on that Victor. If you've not seen that, go and see that. That's really cool. The Victor on the last video, there's some chaps underneath, and they've mentioned they used to have one, the dad used to have one, but everybody's got a Volkswagen story, 100%. I think it's turned into a bit of a thing actually. So everybody has either had a Beetle or a camper van, something like that. And it's always nice to hear stories. So if you've had a Beetle or you've got one, whatever, if you remember them in the 70s, 80s, whatever, please let me know in the comments, because it's always nice to hear everyone's stories. Let's get these things back on. Oop, the belly's rumbling. Dinner time soon, I think. Okay, get your gaskets ready when you put them back on. And also your brake cleaner as well, wherever the hell where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Right, so before fitting, give this a nice spritz of brake cleaner. You'll never get rid of all of the oil, but as long as it's nice and clean on the surface, we can refit our nice new gaskets and then tighten them all down. Like I said, you get new washers with the kit anyway, so we'll start by just flopping on the first gasket. Then it's your strainer, nice and clean. Then it's your second gasket, and it's always nice to have a little nut ready. You've got to do it all in one go. New washers, new nuts, new gasket, back on. Like so. And just finger tight one of them on, and that holds it up for you. So then we can continue to put in the rest. Oh, that one's disappeared. Just like I said, don't do. And we'll get the rest of these bad boys on. So these do not need to be tight at all. All you need to do is come down with them, go opposite way around, diagonally, etc, etc, just till they nip down. You see I'm only using a 1/4 inch ratchet here, so you do not need a lot of force on these at all. So once they're all tightened down, you can then come round and nip them up. So as you can see, I'm just turning them little by little until they all start seating, which is there. Little nip, 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 nip. That's all you need. That's it. Don't go wrenching on them, because you'll pull them out of this case and then you'll have a really bad day, so don't do that. Then just come in with a bit more brake cleaner, give her a little swizz off. Like so, and you can stand back and admire your lovely work. Right, it's dinner time now, so I'll bugger off. I'll come back and we'll do the tappets and the top end. Right, dinner's fine, dogs are fine. Let's crack on with this. So before we go up top, first thing we're going to do is just check out a gearbox oil level. It's very important. So if you get a 19mm hex like that, and a nice big spanner, you can actually unscrew the side here and dip your finger in, and if you get wet like that, that means you're good. Pop it back in again. Nice easy check for you. Okie dokie, next up is going to be tappets behind here. So I've shown you this on the Carmen Ghia video if you want to go and check that out, but I've got these two wires and it allows you to remotely just jib the starter, and it just eases the effort of having to turn the engine to get your tappets to move. So it's just a big one on the big 13 there for the live, and then you just replace your starter wire with just a thin wire like that, and when you jib them together it engages the starter and you can do your tappets nice and easy. So we'll go through that now. Okay, on to the tappets. Rocker cover off, like so. That'll pop off. Oh, what's that? It's our old pal, the Vordridge branded beer mat. Like, comment, subscribe, chuck us something down below, make me dead happy. And if you want one of these, links down below, message me on Instagram. I'll get one sent out to you nice and cheap. Cheers. We'll take out our old gasket. Somehow I'll sort that out down there. Now, to do tappets, it's going to be a bit difficult because the camera's in the way, but tappets, you want, oh, that one's all right, it's number 2 cylinder. You can just hear that. That sounds about right to me. These tappets all need to be at 6 thou. So I'll grab the feeler gauges, wherever they might be. So there we go. 6 thou feeler gauge. And I did do these last year, so they're probably going to be okay. And that one is. That one's fine. That one sounds fine. Yep. So we'll just go through them. You can see with the starter how they move. So if you make sure that the one that you're not doing is all the way in, and you can just about hear the gap that it's got, and they're all dragging really nicely. These look like they're going to be all fine to me. Yep, that one's good. That one's a little bit loose. There we go, we've got a good example. Now you kind of need 3 hands for this, but you'll manage. So first of all, crack off your tappet locking nut, and then you can get in there with, see what I mean about 3 hands, you can get in there with your feeler gauge, with your small screwdriver, and just tighten it down, just till it's got a little bit of friction, like so. So always keep checking, that's got a nice little drag on it there, like that. And now, without moving the centre bit, you should be able to lock up your 13mm nut, like so. And that sounds nice. Always double check once you've tightened up, because sometimes you can do it, but that one's good. So now you know how to do tappets. Right, I'll go and get this crap off. I'll go and clean it up and we'll pop it back on. Before you put your rocker cover back on, I've just gone ahead and cleaned it up. Give this a nice little spritz just here like that. Get rid of any of the excess shite that might be on there. Any oil or bits and bobs. Nice clean mating surface. And as you can see, I've got a nice new rocker gasket in there as well. I put a little smidge of sealer on just to hold it in place. They tend to bow a little bit, but if you're nice and gentle and you come in, just seat it down nice and carefully like that. Then snap, back on, good to go. Now we'll do the same for the other side as usual, which I won't record because nobody wants to see it twice. Up top. Now what we're going to do with this top end stuff, we're going to start by swapping out the spark plugs. We're going to wipe the dizzy cap off and check inside there, make sure everything looks nice. We're going to sort out the fan belt because it is a little bit loose. We'll see if there's any adjustment on that. It's not diabolical, but it's not great. What else can we do? Oh yeah, check the fuel filter. That's underneath on this one. I did check it, it's all good. And then we'll finish off by just checking the timing. Like I said, this does have electronic ignition inside the distributor anyway, but we'll put a timing light on it and I'll show you how to do it anyway. So yeah, let's do it. Hopefully you'll be able to see some of this. So we'll start by just popping off our spark plug leads. They look pretty good. We'll just chuck in our socket. Make sure your socket's got a rubber in it or a magnet, because if you drop a spark plug in there, again, you'll have a rubbish day trying to fish it back out again. I actually have, when I've had these engines out before, I've found them inside the tinware and people have lost them. So if you can just pop one out, it looks pretty good actually. Looks pretty good, that'll do me. Looks like it's running all right. So we'll pop all the rest of them out and we'll get the nice new ones back in. Now if you look at these spark plugs, this kind of spark plug these it does have fit on these, so it's got the little threaded, and quite often these come with nipples on the top of them, which they do. So you're going to have to take that off first. I'll just show you that little nipple should unscrew. I'll have to get some pliers. Just get some pliers, unscrew them. He says, trying to make this look slick. There we go. So that's what you want on your new spark plug. Just like that. And lovely jubbly, easy peasy. Chuck them back in. Don't drop them in the hole. And just start them off with your finger first. You can just about feel it bite. Just finish it off with your ratchet with a nice little nip. They do have crush washers on these. So you'll just feel, as it seats down there, you'll feel it just crush and then a nice little nip. That's it, no more. I'll do the rest, which you don't have to see. Once you're all back in, don't forget to chuck your spark plug leads back on because you won't be going anywhere. If you don't, you'll feel them just seat on and then click on. Beautiful. Right, I think what we'll do next, we'll fill up the oil, give it a dip, we'll adjust the fan belt and check the timing, and we're nearly there. Okay, now as we said before, we're going to put 1540s mineral oil inside it. One of the best things you can buy if you're working on your own Volkswagen or any other people's Volkswagen in that case is a litre jug with a spout on it, because believe it or not, there's a breather here and it normally comes out the bottom and goes all over the engine bay. So you need one with a spout on it because it can get down inside the oil filler and then you can fill it up. So I'll top this up. It's normally just over 3 litres and we'll chuck it in. Fucking hell, that's tight. Why is that so tight? Ah, there we go. Okay, so as I said, feed it in, you'll just feel it go down into the tube, and there's 1 litre going in, 2 litres going in, and 3. Now I'm only going to put half of this in, and then I'm going to dip halfway through just in case. So we'll just go ahead and fill her up about that much, pop out the dipstick and take a look where we're at. Yep, just coming up on minimum. So we'll continue with this one. And like I said, I think it's around 3 litres, something like that. Yep, just about coming up to the stick. I think what we'll do is run her up, re-dip when it's run through, and we'll top her up when we're all done. So to adjust the belt on these, hopefully there's another shim behind there, otherwise we're going to have to get a new belt. Where's my screwdriver gone? Right, I found it. Don't use your best screwdriver like I am. But there'll be a notch on the back of this pulley here, and you can just about lock it in. Watch the internals of the alternator, and you can use the 21mm that you use for your spark plugs and crack it off. This will allow us to take off our front nut. There will be shims behind here because these are your spare shims. Don't lose them because they're like hen's teeth. And that'll allow you to just take that off and have a peek behind. And this one doesn't have any more shims behind there, so there's no adjustment. So what we'll do, we'll pop that back on and we'll let the lady know that the fan belt's just a little bit loose. It's not absolutely diabolical, so I'm not too worried, but we might end up getting a new one on it. But if you were to adjust, there will be shims like that inside that you can take out, and it'll allow you to just tighten the belt very slightly. But what we'll do with this one for now is we'll pop the shims back on, you get the picture, and we'll tighten it back up again. And you can then get your screwdriver back in the little gap, wherever it might be, and give her a nice little nip. Just like that. So right about this time we would whip the distributor out and swap out the electronic ignition, but what we're going to do is just have a peek in there. Looks pretty fresh, this one. You might be able to see just a little bit of build up on the connections there. So if you can see a little bit of carbon, just take your screwdriver and give them a little bit of a scratch up, and that just gets rid of any dodgy connections. It makes it nice and fresh again. Just a nice little maintenance tip. We'll pop off our rotor arm as well. We'll take a look at that. If you can just about see it, there is a little bit of corrosion on there, so we'll get a bit of sandpaper, give that a little scuff as well, and they'll be good as new. So if you can see, there's the corrosion. Give it a little scuff with the sandpaper, and we're nice and shiny again. You can pop it all back together. I'm happy with that. Ta-da! Right, oil's in, spark plug's in, fan belt's okay, these are okay. What else is there? And that's about it. So I think I'll go and chuck the ignition on and we'll fire her up and we'll check the timing. Right, so ignition's on, we'll give her a little pumpy pump. There she is. Right, so she's warmed up a little bit now, and as you can see, hopefully, you can see this strobe light flashing. This is a vacuum advanced distributor, so what you need to see at this point here, in line with the case right there, I just use a screwdriver's point, that's the centre of the case. So you'll need your front pulley mark when you press this, you'll need this at 7 degrees, which is right there, and you should see the mark on the front pulley line up with that one, which it does perfectly. Hopefully you can see that. You can just about see the white mark, and it lines up on the centre of the case, if you can see it. It's there anyway. And that means we don't need to adjust the timing, because it's just fine and it runs well. So we'll leave that one as it is. If you've got a 009 distributor, you actually have to rev it up to about 3,000 revs at full advance. And set your timing light to 28 degrees. So then at 28 degrees full advance, you twist your distributor and you should see your white marker line up with that. And that means we're all good. So we'll leave that as it is. I'll knock it off, we'll re-dip it, and we'll finish off. Right, now all that noise has gone out of the way. You can actually hear me talk. So I'm going to just re-dip it after we've had a nice little run up. And we're about halfway, so I'll top it up, maybe about 1/4 of a litre, something like that. We'll get that boxed off, and then we'll go and check the brake fluid level as well. Don't forget that. Beautiful. Okay fellas, don't forget to check your brake fluid. It's right there, under the driver's seat, right above the master cylinder, and we can see that it's nicely topped up. Like I said, I was in there last year doing the rear brakes, so that's no surprise that it's all good. Now, seeing as this is how to properly service your Volkswagen, final checks, do your tyre pressures. I do them at 40 psi. Check all your lights, check your wipers, get somebody to stamp on the brakes so you can see the rear lights. And finally, close the boot lid and give yourself a pat on the back. Let's finish off. And there we are at the end of another video with the comedy microphone. We'll just have a nice sit down in the nice Cheshire sunshine. That's all with this one. Hope you enjoyed it. It'll give you enough information to keep your van in tip-top condition, ready for the summertime. This lady can have hers back and she can go off swanning about, camping, etc, etc, festivals, I think. So yeah, if you like this kind of stuff, or other classic cars, MGs, Ferraris, what else, Jags, you name it, it comes through the shop. So if you like it, chuck us a little subscribe, chuck us a little thumbs up as well, and I'll see you on the next one. Nice one, fellas.